Hi guys, so in today's video we are going to be looking at the nervous system, which is a part of a few systems that you have to learn in grade 9 during term 1. Okay, so what is the nervous system? The nervous system is a system that receives and helps the body respond to stimuli. Stimuli refers to anything that can trigger a change, okay? Then we have the 5 main processes in the nervous system, with the first being hearing. How do you hear? Through your ear, and the stimuli is sound. And then sight, you see with your eyes, and the stimuli is light. And then touch, you touch things with your skin and it is mechanical. Then taste, you taste with your taste buds or your tongue, and that is chemical. And then smell, you smell with your nose, and that is chemical. I don't know if you're asking yourself, how can taste and smell, like the stimuli, be chemicals? It's because when you are tasting something, you are tasting chemicals basically. Not chemicals like chlorine and stuff like that. There's different types of chemicals. So that's all you need to understand at your level. Even smell. Smell is chemicals. When you're smelling flowers, you are smelling chemicals. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the main components of the nervous system, and you would have to know the names of them, how to identify them, and basically what do they do. Okay, so the first one we have is the brain. I'm sure you've heard of this before, and it processes and interprets information from the sense organs being your eyes, your ears, all of that, and coordinates the appropriate response. Okay, then we have the spinal cord, which triggers reflexes. If you don't know what a reflex is, think of this example. If you accidentally touch a hot stove or hot water, your hand automatically moves away from it. That is a reflex. You don't have to think about it. It's not like a long process like, okay, my hand is in hot water, I'm touching a hot surface, I need to move my hand. It's something that happens instantaneously and automatically. That is a reflex. Okay? So your spinal cord is responsible for that. So it triggers reflexes and transmits impulses. An impulse is an electrical signal from the receptors, and receptors are cells that can detect and respond to stimuli. They are found within your sense organs. So in your ears, your eyes, your skin, your tongue, your nose, there are receptors there. Okay? So it transmits impulses from the receptors to the brain and transmits impulses from the brain to the effectors. Your effectors are like your muscles. Okay? And then we have our nerves, which contain neurons, and then they transmit messages via impulses from the receptors to the sense organs, to the spinal cord or brain, and transmits impulses from the spinal cord or brain to the effectors. So they basically, nerves are the ones that carry those messages or those impulses from the receptors to the brain spinal cord, and then from the brain and spinal cord back to the effectors. So it basically carries it back and forth, back and forth. That's the purpose of nerves. Okay? Then we have our sense organs, which are ears, eyes, your skin, tongues, and noses. And don't forget, your receptors are within your sense organs. They're not your sense organs. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at sending and receiving impulses. Remember what an impulse is? It's an electrical signal. Okay, so what is the whole process of sending and receiving impulses? So firstly, sense organs contain receptors. Remember what I said? A receptor is a cell that can detect and respond to stimuli. Okay? Then receptors convert the stimuli to nerve impulses. So they don't already come as an impulse. The receptors convert them to nerve impulses. Okay? Then those nerve impulses are sent to the brain and or spinal cord via the neurons. Let's take that example that I gave when I was explaining earlier, where you accidentally touch a hot surface. Let's say a hot stove. Your hand is touching a hot stove. On your hand is what? Skin. And what is skin? It is a sense organs. And what is in sense organs? Receptors. So as you are touching that hot surface, the receptors are going to be like, uh-oh, what's going on? They're going to detect that there's a change in the environment. They're going to detect that stimuli that, okay, this is not normal, something is hot. So the receptors are going to then change that into a nerve impulse. then it's going to send that nerve impulse to the brain and to the spinal cord via the neurons. Okay? Then the next step is called interpretation. So the brain makes sense of the information received via impulses from the sense organs, and it can associate meaning to the information received and provide understanding of the changes in the environment. Okay, so now the message of the body is touching something hot is being sent to the brain via the neurons, right? So the brain is making sense of this information and understanding that, okay, this is not normal. Your hand is not supposed to be feeling hot. Like, what is going on? So it associates this meaning with the information received, and then it understands that there's a changed environment. Like I said, your hand is not supposed to be hot. Why is it hot? It's because it's touching the stove. Okay? Then the next step is response. And this is when the information received from the receptors via impulses may need a response. So now it officially understands that, okay, this is not normal. We need to do something about it. So the brain and the spinal cord, they send impulses to the effectors. Remember, the effectors are your muscles. So the brain and the spinal cord come to the decision, okay, we understand that there is a situation, we need to send impulses down there, which are electrical signals to your muscles. And then what's going to happen? You're going to pull your hand away because there's muscles in your hands, right? So some responses are automatic and very rapid, like reflexes. And that is a great example of a reflex because you don't think about all these things. This happens instantaneously within seconds and your hand is already gone. Okay? So that is basically how your nervous system sends and receives impulses. Okay. Then we have how your body controls its temperature, also known as thermoregulation. Okay, so what I'm going to explain is what happens in hot conditions. Okay, so in hot conditions, for example, in summer, if you're in the desert, your body is just feeling hot. The brain detects the temperature increase in the skin. Remember why? Because the skin is a sense organ, and what's in the sense organ? Receptors. Okay. So the blood vessels in the skin dilate and the sweat glands are stimulated to produce sweat, and body cools down due to evaporation. If you ever wondered why you sweat when you're hot, it's because your body is trying to cool itself down. That's why in winter you don't sweat, because your body is already cool enough. Okay? Then the body temperature decreases and returns to normal. Okay? So that is basically what happens in hot conditions. In cold conditions, it will obviously be the opposite. Okay, so now we have health issues that occur in the nervous system. The first one is deafness. I'm sure you've heard of this before, where it's partial or total hearing loss. Okay, and this is caused by damage or disease in the ear, the brain, or nerves. Okay, and treatment depends on the cause. So what caused your deafness, whether it's a disease, whether it's damage, that will determine how the doctors are going to treat that, treat the deafness. So for example, there's hearing aids and there's cochlear implants. Okay. Then the next one we have is blindness, which is the loss of sight. Okay. And again, it can be caused by damage, disease in the eye or brain or the nerves. And again, treatment depends on how that blindness was caused. An example of that would be surgery. Okay. And then short-sightedness. This is the inability to see distant objects clearly. So for example, if you're sitting in your class and you can't see the board, that might be short-sightedness, which means that you can't see something that is too far. Okay. And this is caused by elongated eyeball or irregular shaped lenses. Sometimes it's genetic, where let's say your parents are short-sighted and then they pass that gene on to you, and then you might be short-sighted. So there's different causes as to why a person might be short-sighted. And treatment for that can be laser surgery, you can wear glasses, or you can wear contact lenses. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the effects of drugs and alcohol on the brain. You saw already with sending and receiving impulses, how crucial, how important the brain is in the nervous system. So now we're going to see how drugs and alcohol can affect that. Okay, so it affects the transmission of impulses from neuron to neuron within the brain. So there are neurons in the brain. So the first one we have are called stimulants or uppers, and they cause impulses to travel faster and excite the central nervous system. In the brain, impulses travel at a specific speed, but then if you take stimulants or uppers, it causes them to travel even faster, which is not normal because they have their own speed. Okay, and this can lead to an increased alertness, high heart rate, and also it can cause a high. Okay, and these substances that cause this are very, very, very addictive. Examples of that are cocaine, ecstasy, and nicotine. Nicotine is found in cigarettes. Okay, then we have depressants or downers, and they cause impulses to slow down. Remember, impulses are supposed to travel at a specific speed, so now they even slow down. Okay, and this can lead to a decreased heart rate, relaxation, and numbness to pain. Okay, and again, taking depressants are very, 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 very addictive, and examples of that are alcohol, heroin, and sleeping tablets. Okay, so please take care of your body because your body needs your nervous system. Okay, hopefully this video helps you understand the nervous system much better. Bye.